Hello, my name is Shayla Treadwell, and I'm the Director of Cybersecurity at ACS. One of the largest projects that we're working on right now is CMMC and helping organizations ensure they're prepared for it. One of the things that we want to discuss today is what to do when you find gaps. Now, finding gaps after you've gone through a preparedness assessment is very important because that really impacts your plan of action and your milestones and ensuring that you close those gaps to prepare yourself to go through your CMMC certification process. Now, I will say that when you find those gaps, really you need to start looking at what you have in your SSP, or also known as your System Security Plan. Now, this is a document that identifies the functions and features of the systems, including your hardware and software that you have installed on your network for your information systems. This is an important document because it really starts to talk about your infrastructure and how you're securing it. Within your certification process, this is going to be something that's very, very important, and it's going to be something that your assessor is probably going to want to take a look at to make sure that you're as prepared as possible and covering off on all the cybersecurity tasks that you need to cover off on. Along with that, it's really key to make sure you have the right policies and standards as well as procedures within your organization, and more importantly, that your organization is actually following them. From a policy perspective, it really sets the high-level expectations that your managers and your senior leadership has for your organization. It really speaks to your secure culture and how you're going about doing those things and what's expected of your workforce. Now, as we move from policy going into standards, standards are really assigned to make sure that you can assign quantifiable measurements that need to be met. It really sets up what people have to do. And the next step after that is looking at your standard operating procedures. Now, they're also known as SOPs, and what they do is they establish the proper steps that need to be taken in order to complete certain tasks. Now, I know when you're thinking about compliance exercises, you're thinking about a lot of paperwork and making sure that these things are there. However, I just want to make sure that you understand that though this is a lot of paperwork, your people have to know that it exists and they have to know that they have to complete those steps. When someone comes in to assess your organization, it's great to have the paperwork to make sure that you outline what you do and why you do it. But it's even more important to make sure that even your lowest level employee understands how they feed into that and how they can make sure that they're safeguarding all of the information assets that are needed. That's the main key when you start looking at CMMC. Now, when you start to think about having all these processes and procedures in place and covering off on these gaps that you may have, some of those things you simply may not be able to do. Based off of how your organization is structured, if you have a limited amount of people, or even if you just don't have the time. Now, this is when you can actually use a managed service provider or an MSP to step in and do that work for you. These companies or individuals take on the responsibility for maintaining and anticipating the needs for a range of processes and functions to ensure that you have the proper things safeguarded in the way that you need to, especially if you're unable to do it yourself. And when you start looking at CMMC, one of the main things that you can do is leverage an MSP to make sure that you reach the goal that you want to reach to get that level of certification that you need to continue doing business with the DoD. The next thing that you definitely can do to ensure that you get prepared for this is to hire experts. Hire individuals to come in and to do the technical writing, to write your policies, your standards, your SSP, and leverage them to support your organization. Hiring these experts along with having an MSP could be a wonderful relationship to make sure that you're as prepared as possible for CMMC and you get the accreditation level that you're seeking. Now, if you have any questions about this or need an MSP or need some extra experts to come into your organization, please reach out to us. We're happy to help and assist you in this space. It allows you to have the flexibility and the freedom to know that something's getting done the right way so that you can achieve what you're looking for when it comes down to the CMMC accreditation.